Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel, and this is arguably the biggest piece of news that dropped for crypto, just broadly speaking. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph. U.S. senators reintroduce crypto bill aimed at comprehensive regulation. So there's a lot to say about this. Let me just throw this out there right at the outset. This bill, as I understand it, now I do want to go through and ultimately read this damn thing, but based on how it's been described to this point and the analysis I've seen from attorneys in the crypto space, it seems as though this bill would save XRP, but it's too late. Because the SEC is already trying to sue Ripple into oblivion, which is, they're effectively suing XRP holders anyway. Close enough, damn it, you know. So it would, as passed, my understanding to this point anyway, is that this actually would save XRP, but it's too late because we're going to have a conclusion in this case with Judge Torres. Now, there is an asterisk to that, though. Technically, okay, it could save XRP, but only if we get some really bad rulings and this thing drags out for years and ends up going to the Supreme Court. If that happens, okay, fine. Because what you're talking about here is a congressional authority implementing new law, quite literally, because it's Congress that's in charge of determining what government agencies can do, what powers they have, all that. So if you're talking about something where we get really bad news here in the short term, and maybe this drags on for another few years, oh my God, I hope that doesn't happen. But if you're talking about that, then in theory, if this thing were to pass, and if it is what people think it is, then yes, it could in theory still save us, but we're going to have a ruling before this. And it's just like the stuff there's so many things that I've read here already where it just seems like common sense stuff that should have been properly implemented and it hasn't been, and it really is frustrating to think about it. But it just shows me like this is the direction that we're ultimately going to go. That's what I think anyway. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So let's jump in here, and then I'm going to share with you perspective from attorney James Murphy, who goes by the name Metal Lawman. I always appreciate his analysis. He just seems like a real sharp dude. Gives excellent analysis and perspective. So anyway, let's jump into the piece, though. United States Senators Cynthia Lummis and Kirsten Gillibrand will reintroduce legislation aimed at establishing a comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets. The U.S. lawmakers said they would reintroduce the Responsible Financial Innovation Act to the Senate on July 12th after roughly a year of being tabled in the previous session of Congress. And look, I'll pause to note, I've heard stuff from both of these senators that make me question them. It's like, it makes, seriously, they've said certain things that make me wonder what in the ever-loving hell they're up to. In fact, within the last month or so, I'm pretty sure, I made a video where I was highlighting some nonsense that was stated by Gillibrand, Senator Gillibrand, and she's literally saying contradictory stuff. And so there's that, and then there's some stuff, I saw some stuff from Loomis, and I remember covering it at the time, I can't remember all the specifics, but she said stuff, at the time anyway, that would, if it it was worded in such a way that if it were to be put into this bill, it would basically make it so that XRP is a security. And I remember her saying stuff like that. But then now we see the version, as it's being touted at this particular point, it doesn't sound like that would be the case. It sounds like there's a path forward. So anyway, the piece continues. The bipartisan piece of legislation, Loomis is a member of the Republican Party and Gillibrand is a Democrat, was aimed at clarifying the roles of the Securities and Exchange Commission and Commodity Futures Trading Commission in regulating digital assets, as well as providing consumer protection. And so you'll see as we go through this ultimately, it seems to mostly, if not entirely, probably just mostly, strip the SEC of any sort of power over the crypto space. And so here is the perspective from attorney James Murphy. New crypto regulation bill. Senators Loomis, Republican, Wyoming, and Gillibrand, Democrat, New York, have introduced comprehensive legislation to regulate the crypto asset space. This is a revised version of a bill the senators introduced last year. Here are three key takeaways. And by the way, I also note here too, and Attorney Murphy touches on this, like the odds of this thing passing Not necessarily high. And Attorney Deaton's even shared his perspective that, we're not going to have any sort of meaningful legislation passed as it pertains to crypto, probably for years. And I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but I think Attorney Deaton's probably right about that, unfortunately. But that's what I say also. If this damn thing, the SEC v. Ripple case, actually goes to the Supreme Court, if that takes half a decade, in theory, we could see something like this pass prior to that, in which case, hey, we're solid anyway. God, please tell me it doesn't take that long. So anyway, Attorney Murphy says, number one, the bill would make clear that crypto assets that do not represent a financial interest in the underlying project would be commodities, not securities. If a token carries with it no rights to dividends or interest payments or ownership in the issuer, it's a commodity. Okay, so folks, so in reading that, that's where I was like, okay, that should save XRP. So, but the question is, and that's why I was kind of saying a couple of minutes ago, what the hell are these two senators up to? They said some stuff that make my ears perk up, and I'm like, what's your real intent? Are you just Bitcoin maxis? What is going on here? They've said stuff that make me question this. And so even though that sounds good, and as read, I think most people will be like, yeah, that's probably really good for XRP. Are we sure, though? Not 100%. It depends on the intent. If you take it as read, again, I think the answer is yes. But are you going to try and argue that, would they try and argue like XRP, there's a financial interest because of Ripple for the underlying project, and so it wouldn't be a commodity? Would they try and argue with something like that? Is it sufficiently clear cut? And so it seems to me directionally this is in the right, like it's going the right way, right? But I just have these question marks because I don't trust these senators. Based on the things they said, I don't trust either of them. They sound, generally speaking, to take a 30,000 foot overview, it sounds like they're very pro crypto. We'll just have to see how they follow through. That's all I can say at this point. Attorney Murphy continues. Number two, the bill assigns the job of regulating crypto exchanges like Coinbase to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. Hell yeah. Not the SEC. There you go. It would be the CFTC, and this would be congressional decree. This would be law. CFTC is in charge, not Kim Jong-Ginzer. How about him, apples? Then he says, the bill includes strong customer protections, mandating segregation of customer funds and periodic reporting of proof of reserves. And that sounds good. I mean, I don't know who would be against that. Hopefully that would be sufficient protections, but yeah, I don't know why anyone would be against that particularly. And then number three, the bill would allow stablecoins to be issued by regulated depository institutions, banks, or credit unions. Stablecoins would have to be backed one-to-one by high-quality liquid assets. Now that I like. Tether, what the hell are you backed by? You ever going to be transparent? You ever going to be transparent, Tether? That would be nice. Anyway, then he says existing issuers of stablecoins would get priority for obtaining new charters from the OCC. Bottom line, while the passage of the bill this term appears doubtful, the bill does help crypto exchanges currently defending SEC enforcement cases because it reaffirms once again that it is Congress that has the authority to determine how crypto will be regulated, not the SEC. I'm a fan. So again, let's just keep a sharp eye on how this actually goes down. But surface level, at a minimum, looks really good. I will absolutely cede that point. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.